We were so blessed. We had the chance to see a movie called All I'm Worth.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that it was going to be this great. It's tear-jerking, it's jaw-dropping, it's everything.
You laughed, you cried,
yes.
You want to punch the TV screen.
Yes,
sometimes
right.
certain people.
And we have very important people here from the cast, as you see on our split screen here on Pop Smash Live. But we have to give this a proper introduction. So here we go. You know,
Mr. Dorian Parker.
Right. Yes. So live right here on Pop Smash, we feel it's our obligation to present this amazing, important film, the proper intro that it deserves.
Let's get it. All right, now absolutely. All I'm Worth takes several important issues that plague our society, in particular sexual abuse.
Yeah, and this film details the lives of several characters with distinct storylines that are captivating and cringingly emotional.
Yeah, now the way the cast delivers these complex roles was so impressive, as well as the writing, production, and directing.
Yes.
All I'm Worth is a thought-provoking film that will leave the audience mesmerized and actually leave us mesmerized.
Yes, it did, like 100%.
Yeah.
And yes, with that said, let's introduce this amazing cast that we have right here. Let's start with Mr. Dorian Parker.
Hey.
And the beautiful Miss Sarai Quinese.
Hey.
Yes, I love her. She's so cute, yes.
Oh, thank you.
And writer-producer Jamil Jones.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Pop Smash,
welcome. Guys.
Welcome.
Thank
y'all.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for coming on the show. Like, Dorian, thank you so much for the invite.
Yes, thank you, Dorian.
Yeah. You know what? You've been holding some stuff for me. First, I know Dorian, so the thing is, I didn't know you were so talented like that, number one. I know how funny you are. I always tell you hilarious anyway. But I didn't know how great of a talent you are, like, acting-wise. You were really, really good in this role, so thank you for introducing us to this film. And we really, really loved it.
I'm still coming into myself, you know. That was the first time I got a chance to really give people a chance to have an opinion about my craft. So, you know, I think I got some coming out. They're very supportive.
Yeah.
I've been talking to y'all for some time about
Absolutely.
Y'all actually showed up. Y'all popped up on me at the parking lot.
Yes, at the parking lot. Yes, we did. Yes,
we was trying to find some spots.
Okay.
We
did pop up on you. And Sarai, oh my gosh, I'm looking at you and I just want to give her a hug. I'm going to just give her a hug. Oh my God. Yes. It's okay, baby. I understand. I really do.
Listen, honestly, when we left out of the theater,
oh my God,
I was just listening. I was looking for him, but dang, I don't know what that. I want to know how he did that right hook. I want to hug him. I was looking for Dorian because I wanted to be his friend. So okay, I was like, it's just everything. We was laughing at your joke. Did you write his joke? And you wrote the jokes, or like was it improv some or like?
It depends on what you're talking about. I want to say a good 98% of what I put out was mine.
Okay.
But Dorian definitely threw his own twist into it. Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Jamil knows me. So when Jamil called me, Jamil was like, I got this character in mind.
Right.
And he was like, this is some of the things I think you would say. And I'm like,
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
You're right, I will say that.
Because every time you made it, you was just like, oh my God.
Yes, like, it's hilarious.
Those are the loudest ones in the movie theater.
And Jamil, I have to ask you, Jamil Jones, the writer-producer of this amazing film.
Yes.
Like, how was what's like an emotional roller coaster you writing something like this?
It was therapeutic writing it. I work as a therapist, a mental health therapist, so a lot of these stories were told to me, and there's a lot of stuff I was just exposed to. So me writing it was therapeutic. I was just getting out from everything that has been put on me during sessions.
Wow.
When I actually saw it acted out, that was something else that put me on an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
And then seeing it in its final process, it was. They really brought it to life and did something that I didn't even think. I still don't know how good it is until I hear you all talk about it.
Yeah. Was it hard for you to watch some of the scenes? Obviously, you wrote and directed a lot of it, but was it hard for you to watch them while they were acting everything out? Was it like, oh my gosh. Like, was it so real? Were you just like, okay, did you cry, get emotional, like in any scenes when you were watching? But
you know what? The scene that I wrote for Dorian, when he finally revealed to his uncle what happened.
Oh man,
that right there, that was emotional.
Yes,
it had all of us in there, like really, like everybody just wanted to hug, and he really, we didn't need too many takes with it. Like he was able just to really get it out, and it was amazing. Yeah,
the 2 takes of that.
Yeah,
I remember Jamil looked at me at the end of the scene, and he was like, And he just walked out the room.
Yeah.
And I was like, did I do a good job?
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Wow.
So it was really good.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to find like the words to
I
express
know, right?
like how great it was. Because I think we walked in, we was expecting a good film. We was expecting
Right.
like phenomenal film that had us like we
like,
could barely eat our
where's
popcorn at the
everybody?
end of
Like, where's
it.
everybody?
Yeah,
Like,
he was like,
looking
where's
for y'all,
everybody? I got
like-
to see them. Like I really got to see them and
Thank
everything.
you so much, y'all.
So I really want to start from the
Yeah,
beginning. The
amazing.
main take that I got from All I'm Worth is that this is a film that everyone needs to see, but it's a film dealing with a lot of issues, like she said, that plagues, you know, every community, the black community, and this was everything in general. My main thing, one thing he said, I think the therapist said, you know, a lot of victims turn into abusers, and that's something that triggered me in the film, and then watching the trailer over again. I said, wow, that's exactly the one thing that triggered me, and I never thought about that. You know, when stuff happens to you as a child, sometimes it's
like a chain of events.
it's a chain of
Just
events. It
hurt
keeps on
people.
going and going.
There you say it again.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
Hurt
There you
people,
go.
hurt people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's how it was. That was really that was an aha moment for me at
it
that
was.
moment.
Yeah. Now I've never come across anybody who's had to deal with things like that. So have you guys had any? I don't want to say it hasn't happened to you, but anything that your character went through, can you relate to it? Anything your character has gone through, can you relate to? Like when you first initially read the script, you're like, oh my gosh, like I don't know how I can do this, or you know, was it anything that was difficult about playing that character that really hit home?
Well, I never got like sexually assaulted, like physically. Like it would be kind of like verbal for me. Like I would be walking down the street, or like someone would be like, "Oh, hey, sexy, hey, beautiful,"
Yeah.
and it would just be like, "Well, you do know, like I am a child. Like I have a book bag on. I have my keychain on for school.
Yeah.
So once you see that I'm young, just stop."
Yeah.
Stop trying
automatic.
to talk to me. Stop trying to like come at me and stuff like that. But I never been sexually abused. But I do know people that have been, and that's what helped me with my character too, just by talking to them about it.
So you did some research.
Yeah, and then some of my friends like, they wouldn't want to come to the show because it's so triggering to them, and then they don't just want to like break down and cry about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm there for them. I'm there for them, and by talking to them, like it helped me so much with my role.
Good.
Do you remember some of the statistics that was at the end of the film? I was trying to read them all, but do you remember some of them that was kind of alarming?
I know that sexual abuse, it happens between 12 and 18, most sexual abuse cases, right?
12 and 18 is the highest number. Yes, highest cases.
Highest cases.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's usually someone that's close to home. You know, 1 out of every 4 young males are sexually assaulted.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's something that we really, we don't, as men, in particular black men, we don't really take that on as an actual thing. You know, because if I'm 13 years old and I'm messing with a woman that's 20 years old, I'm getting high fives.
Right, yeah.
That's sexual assault, and that's sexual abuse. You know, I have a 12-year-old, you know, she's dead. You know what I mean? Don't touch my child like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, but that's sexual assault. So 1 out of every 4 minors that are males are sexually assaulted.
Wow, 1 out of 4 minds are now sexually assaulted. That's deep and scary at the same time. You actually think about it. Somebody's going through that, which is super, super emotional. Every story that was in this film takes a different turn, and that kept us on our toes the entire time as well. So we want to dig deeper into the characters. And so we're going to start with yours, Dorian. Because, you know, I realize a lot of people do try to cover things up with anger and humor. You know, some are like, you know, what you went through there. To go through the scenes, how emotional was that for you? And do you see that prevalent, especially like, you know, with gay males or just with males in general?
Yeah, definitely. Watching it back, that day that you guys came was a chance for me actually to watch it as a viewer. So many times I've seen the film before then. I watched it as an actor, and I'm too busy watching the background, watching how my body movements, and watching how the scenes play out. So that time I actually got to watch it as a viewer, and I was able to laugh at a lot of the things that we laughed at, and I was able to be in the moment.
Listen, I saw you on the chair with your feet up. I kept looking at reactions because I love how you love the film. I seen him. I was cracking
You know,
up.
it's so crazy because I'm telling you, like, even every time I see the film, I see something different. And it's the weirdest thing ever. And then sometimes I don't see myself, even though I know what's coming up, I don't know what's coming up.
Yeah.
I kind of like temporarily forget. And like because we shot the movie a year ago, some of the scenes I forgot. Like honestly, when you're filming a film and you're so entrenched in that character, like you legit block the world out. And then what happens is once the filming is over, you try to get back to reality and you let that character go. Because me and Kyle has a lot of similarities, but there's a lot of things that he went through that I've never dealt with. Like dealing with like people in the household that didn't love me, I've never dealt with that. Like a lot of gay members, well, LGBT members dealing with that issue. Being sexually assaulted is something I've never dealt with. Being bullied is not something I've dealt with. But actually in high school, I was on the other side of bullying. I used to say things and not knowing, just being young and immature. And I would say comedic jokes and tease people and things like that. And one girl stopped me in the hallway one day in tears about something I had said to her in class. And ever since that day, I made a conscious decision to be very careful about teasing people. So now when I see people get bullied, I'm normally the first person to say, hey guys, it's not funny because you don't know what situation this person is going back to. So when that happened to Kyle, it was an opportunity for me to dig back into that conversation. I'll never forget that girl. And you know, like so
so it's kind of like you took a part of her emotion to deliver that
a lot
performance.
Of stories, and like I talked to a couple of my friends that I didn't know was sexually assaulted prior to us filming the film, and I used some of their like stories and emotions invoked in some of the scenes, or it was crazy. It's a whole different life when you're on the other side of the camera, and then it's your job to deliver someone else's story. Like that's in the beginning, me and Jamil had a lot of conversations. I was like, Jamil, like like this is a touchy subject, and I don't know if I'm going to portray it correctly. I don't want to be wrong. That was the challenge, the most challenging part.
This is to give like a brief description of Dorian Parker's role, and he played Kyle, who was sexually assaulted, basically raped by his uncle's friend. The scene was just crazy, and then his uncle didn't. Uncle's family probably didn't believe it until he was so emotional, like this actually really did happen. Crazy scene, which is also a great friend as well. To Sarai's character, to everyone's character in there. So
this is definitely my buddy.
I can see that. And then we're gonna get to you, young lady.
So I'm Sarai Quinese, everybody. I played the lead role of Cole. I'm one of the lead roles, and I was sexually abused by my stepdad.
Yes, my stepdad, played by Francisco. Played the role really
very well.
very well.
Very
too well, right?
Very believable.
You see the day he's gonna be like, you sit over there. Don't sit nowhere near her. That's
he still side hugs me.
All right,
he's like, I don't want no smoke from nobody.
Y'all done your jobs really well.
Thank you.
Really well.
Yeah.
How was that to go to that place?
Honestly, it was very confusing for me because, as the same thing as Dorian, I never went through it. But I've done my research. I looked on YouTube for people that do like story times or like how they were sexually assaulted. I looked up some like court cases. It took some time for me to grow my character and to do some research, and then also like I said before, like personal not personal experience, but hearing my friends go through that with personal experience. Tell me that with a personal experience. But it was. I had to really like sit down and like get all this into the moment, because like it's not easy. It's not easy at all. Like being a victim is not easy at all. And I see that through like everywhere, I did my research and stuff from. But it wasn't easy. And my mom was there. My mom was there through everything. She was in like the rehearsal. She was in the shoot dates or whatever. She was there when we was filming. So I know she had my back. I know that I had support all the way. It was kind of hard for me because it's nothing that I went through. But I know that I wanted to play this role so it can bring awareness to the people that needs to speak out about it. Yeah. People in the audience. I'm not saying, I know that it has to be someone in the audience that have experienced sexual abuse and they haven't came out about it yet.
Right.
So I'm glad that whoever it was in the audience, they saw the movie, so that now that they can get like some closure or finally speak out about it.
Was it difficult for you to do the scenes and stuff while your mom was there? I know she's there for support, but was it difficult doing those scenes while your mom was there?
It didn't like difficult meaning like my role or like
scenes like we're doing scenes with Charlie.
Okay.
Was it difficult doing a scene like that while your mom was supporting you? You know, she's there for support.
Right.
But was it difficult?
Right. So with this production company, they love me, they support me,
Right.
they make me feel very, very comfortable.
Right.
So with my character, yes, I had some difficulty, but like in scenes, I know Stretch.
Right.
He's not like that, and I know how to differentiate Francisco from stepdad.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, was it difficult doing the scene while your mom was watching it?
Oh. Yeah.
You know, like, right.
Yeah.
Was it awkward? You know,
it
while
was
your mom was
awkward.
watching. I know she's there for support.
It was awkward because she saw because like in the rape scene he was pulling my jeans down.
Right.
I don't know how she felt about it because I was just focused on my acting. I didn't see her expression.
Right.
But I'm thinking like it was tense. It was tense right here because like that's something that she would never want me to go through.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was thinking of that. It's probably
Yeah.
thought.
In her eyes, she probably wanted to like kill my stepdad at that
Yes.
moment.
Yeah. A lot of us want to be in.
I know, yeah. So I don't know. She know.
How many times Daryl about to put his popcorn
She
in
know
his
that.
mouth down.
She knows that.
I said Daryl again.
So yeah, let me tell you something. The popcorn literally dropped
Every
down. So
time.
every time, like
Every
it was just
time.
she was like, Daryl, like this is not
I'm like,
really
think
about.
of how you got a hole in your lip. He just kept
Seriously.
dropping his popcorn down his chest. I'm like,
You know, I have to ask you this because of course, we know the subject matter was for every last one of the characters,
right.
but some, like with Dorian's character, everyone's character, I felt like it was another topic, another layer on top of everything they were going through. About the LGBT community and how black families do not accept it and they throw the Bible. LGBT members. And same thing with you.
There's a lot of letters, right?
There's a lot of letters. QWS. Asian letter, house, mountain, yeah. So, and with you, Sarai, with these, the same thing, mothers and women not believe another woman when they say that, hey, I've been, been sexually assaulted, I've been raped. And I felt like that was something that was profound to, profound to me, that the fact that you didn't want to say anything was pronounced like the Me Too movement. Like, you don't want to say anything for that. Was that going through here when you wrote these characters?
Well, for one, Me Too wasn't a thing when I first wrote this.
Yeah.
This was what, 2014 when I first started writing it.
Okay.
14, yes. When I first started writing it, 2014. So the Me Too movement wasn't even awake at the moment. The different layers, that's just the way I write. Almost every project I've done, I've always written, that there's something more to what's going on, something more than what meets the eye. So I wanted to dispel a lot of myths. One of which is that, people who are homosexual have to be sexually assaulted in order to become homosexual. And it's like, that's not always the case. So I wanted to dispel that myth. I also wanted to tell the story of that many times people are blinded by love and they're too trustworthy. And they're willing to take someone else's word over their own flesh and blood. So, and as you mentioned about the whole, how people beat other people over the top of the head with religion.
Yeah.
So many times we just all blind. We're blinded by whatever it is that we're fixated on, and I just try to tell an accurate depiction of stories that I know.
Oh, that's really profound. Like we're blind.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I never thought about that, but that's so true.
Yeah.
Definitely profound.
I've seen that happen. That scenario that you, the character Nicole went through with her mother, growing up in the projects. A lot of people on fixed incomes and things like that. You kind of, a lot of women relied on their husbands and stuff like that to support them. So when there were situations like that would occur, and you would hear about stuff like that, it's like the mother or father rather would take whatever happened, with the child, they were just kind of like on the wayside. It's like, I gotta survive. You understand what I'm saying? So it was like, you didn't tell your mother what happened, but it was like you knew if you were to tell your mother what would happen, it was like, oh, she lose a career or she lose a husband. You know what I mean? It was like you were too afraid to tell your parent what happened because you were scared that, you know, you would lose it all. Or
she was about to get a promotion.
Like right, she was about to get a promotion in the hospital. So I'm afraid
like
things like that happen up in front of you.
Or she would lose her job. Right.
Yeah, you're afraid to speak on it.
You know what was interesting in one part that Jamil just talked about, like in the LGBTQ community, sexual assault happens way more than like we actually give it credit for, because men are so sexualized. Like men sexualize women, but because men are looked at like sexual beings, when they are sexual with each other, it just becomes that's just what it is.
Right.
So a man saying that another man like touched him, especially when they're over 18, that's really just like, who cares? But like when it's a child, I mean, a lot of men don't want to get to that vulnerable place to be like, another man took my innocence, or he overpowered me in such a way. So when I was playing Kyle and I was thinking about those things, and the fact that Kyle had never had a sexual experience with a male before, and then the fact that like his family didn't approve him from being gay, that's a hard conversation to have. Like when I'm telling you I'm gay, but I'm telling you that one of your friends violated me, then it becomes like, oh, this is just becoming too much. Like, you're just a problem child. And I didn't realize until I watched it from back with you guys how angry I was.
Right.
And I guess when I thought about a lot of things that Kyle was going through, I'm like, any person would be like on the verge of suicide, because especially when home is not loving.
Yeah.
When you normally home is where you get away from the world. Like you're like, this is where I can go for a safe haven. And then you walk home and now you're in the kitchen trying to something to eat.
Right. It was explained that your parents weren't in your life. You was raised by your uncle, which happens to a lot of people.
I was actually that's something that me and Kyle had.
No, it was an aunt and uncle.
Aunt and uncle, yeah.
No, in real life.
In real life, I was raised by my grandmother. In real life, in the movie, he was raised by his aunt and uncle. So not having the placement of a mother and father in a home, that's psychologically damaging for any child.
I agree.
Sometimes we're so used to the single parent story, but then sometimes there's no parents. And we have single parent grandparents and, single parent foster parents, and, there's different layers to that also, so.
Yeah. And Jamil, did you create the title All On Work?
I did, yes.
You did. Did you have any other names before then? Why did you title that?
I don't know. I was just playing with a bunch of things in my head at the time. I wanted to have something that's creative, and it just one thing that just came to me. I would like to think, did I create that? Right? It was me, right? Oh, yeah, yes, I did.
Yes.
I don't want to not give her credit if it was her, but I believe it was me who came with that. And the way that the movie ended, I don't know, because people were yelling and screaming and saying things.
It's all on work. I was like, it's a question.
Yeah, but that wasn't the way that it was supposed to end. I had about 4 different endings.
Oh wow!
And this story is supposed to actually be, it was supposed, right? This story is supposed to be it was supposed to be a series initially. So I don't speak a lick of Spanish, but I had a part where people were Spanish. A Spanish family went through sexual assault as well. It just cost too much to put these projects out. So, I had to close it. But again, I had about 4 or 5 different endings.
Wow.
Yes.
But if any network's watching, they want to pick it up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Would there be an All On Work 2? I would just like to see what the characters are.
You put the pressure on. You put the pressure on.
There was a question mark left with every single character that was played. What was the other young lady who played? You were very close with.
Ashley, my best friend.
Ashley. We have to say I loved her role. And it felt like she was like, when everyone was going through like their abuse, she was thrown in that. It was like a wrench that was thrown in dealing with her situation, like messing with the older gentleman. Yeah. And those scenes that she had were really, really interesting, especially with young girls dealing with married men. Yeah. On top of that. and she wants to be the number one.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's like, well, it doesn't happen that way.
Right.
That's so
Well,
real.
we all heard about stuff like that.
Yes. So real. Yeah.
So she is
And
not
heard
gonna
that
be
story. She's not gonna be that
I tried
number
to
one.
convince her.
Yeah, she
I tried to
did.
tell her.
Plenty of time.
I was there, it just took me back
Yes.
to when they were sitting on the step, and Kyle was like, y'all just don't know what y'all want. I was like, you know what? Okay. I was
You
like,
know,
okay.
It's
Like,
so
I thought
crazy.
we
A lot of
could
things
do.
that Kyle said, I just was like, you know what, Kyle, you're so right. You're so right.
The one of the
Yes.
main things that that was so deep that Kyle said, which I really love, is when Kyle actually said, "Excuse me, to pay bills." When Kyle actually said,
Okay, later.
you know, a bitch like to eat.
Me and Kyle got that in common.
I wanted to laugh so bad.
Scene was so emotional.
That was his catchphrase.
Both
Yeah.
Throughout the whole thing, that was his catchphrase.
yeah.
And it was so interesting to see like me deliver it different because in the beginning I said it's
You said
very
it.
subtle.
Yeah.
And at the end I was like, you know,
Actually, at a food place,
Yeah.
too. Like it was like, that's the reason why I'm here. That took me out right there. But yeah, that was really amazing. Francisco, I don't know how that role is too well. He played it
Yeah.
excellently. You know, I believed everything from, you know, how suave he was with, you know, with your mother, and
When they first met.
when he first met.
Right.
Like, I was like, oh, this is a good guy.
He was such a believable
I thought it was gonna be
character.
I thought it was gonna be something with her, not with him. That took me for a loop. I'm like,
he
oh, what's
definitely
up with
Yeah.
her?
He looks very
Yeah.
normal.
was-
That's the
No.
problem.
I was like, I'm trying to tell you, I'm like, Angel, no, this guy didn't make, no, this guy.
When he hopped off that step, though, it just reminded me back of the day walking down Tacoma and Moral Bird. And how you doing? Your color was suave. You just take it. I'm just like,
And it was directed
He
by Chop
alright.
Mosley, right?
Excuse me?
Directed by Chop Mosley.
Yes.
And did you and Chop like handpick all the talent? Did you go through a few people who was like, this is definitely the person who played these?
Well, Francisco and Jezediah Hall,
Yes.
who were
Played her
mom
mom,
and
yeah.
stepdad, they were picked by Chop.
Okay.
Well, not necessarily picked by Chop. We had an audition at his studio.
Wow. Okay.
Everyone else, I handpicked. I handpicked Sarai. I handpicked Dorian.
Good
From the aunt Michelle, Uncle James, you know,
Oh, they were
I
good
handpicked
too.
those
Yes.
folks. Even you know the guy, Uncle James's two friends, you know,
Yeah.
I handpicked
Oh,
those
okay.
folks as well. So almost everyone else that you see, I handpicked.
wow. That's amazing because his friend was a very intimidating looking character.
Yes.
Creepy.
Honestly.
And I said, I don't know if that's just him, but he just played that role damn good. Because if I was Kyle, I would just be like, I ain't coming to that porch wherever they were. He was very intimidating.
that scene when he comes back to the house.
And just staring in the door. And
Yeah.
you're just like,
Yeah,
when
wait a
Uncle
minute,
James
like,
coming
yeah,
back,
look
you
at his
said he
face
go.
like,
I was like, oh
I look
my
at my
God.
sweat stains and I'm thinking about Kyle. You are terrified and you have a right to be terrified right now. Like this man did it and then came back. I'm like, okay.
Oh my
He's bold.
God.
oh yeah, he's really
He's
bold.
bold when he looks.
You ain't kidding.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
I was intimidated. I was like, he looks scary, like a serial killer type of
Yeah.
look. And I was just like, wow, y'all did really good.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Y'all
They
were
really did.
amazing.
They really
Like,
did a good job.
I have
man,
to tell the
from
scene
the
that
writing, the
that actually
directing, the
made me cry.
acting.
Angel seen me cry plenty of times because we're like this.
We was crying in the movie.
But
Don't
I know,
tell
right?
him
We're
crying
really,
in the
I
movie.
know, babe. But let me tell you this story. I
He
know.
always got it.
But let me tell you, the one scene that got me again, popcorns out the mouth,
I know.
and you know, thank God we're not really sharing the show our emotions,
I know.
for real, drop it down. But when
So
you went over, oh, I know, keep it together. When you went over, was it your cousin's house or your
Oh, Wendell.
Wendell's house?
She and Wendell.
Yeah.
And I really believed Wendell that he was like, you know what? I'm your protector. I'm going to help you out in this. That blew me away when he came back downstairs and you know and tried to fill you up. And I was like, no, he's not really doing it. I got so emotional. I was so angry because I'm like, this girl's not going to know how to trust anybody.
Yes.
And that her friends and like anyone, and she's going to keep her mouth closed about a lot of things.
Right.
I was so. That's a
It was that part, it pissed us off when we were watching. We were just like,
pissed me
look,
off.
I'm doing like this, and he's just like,
It was popcorn
you know,
and
getting mad.
tears.
And then we started laughing because she called him a dirty dog.
Yes,
dirty
she
mother. And then the son just
Woke up
like,
the whole
This
house.
sounds like.
he just like,
Yeah, my
Right.
that's actually my son.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Is he your?
He's over
Is he
there.
here?
Yes,
Oh
my
my
son's over
gosh!
there.
Is he? Is
Where
he?
he
He
at?
has too.
Brittany,
Come here.
on over. Oh my gosh, we got to
Come
bring
on
him
over
here.
here now.
Now this is a real Pop Smash exclusive.
you
Hey,
go.
there you go. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. That's right. You know how Dad was.
Yeah.
That's right. Just filming over here. And one thing
You let
could
Wendell
you
know.
please make that face again that you made going up that steps?
He was cracking up.
Yes.
Dude,
Yeah, we believe that's how our faces was too at the end of that. Like, you
because the
darn
window.
right. You ain't kidding.
Oh my goodness.
Now, if I can give y'all like a small little thing about that is that it was a line written where he's supposed to say punk ass, and he didn't want to say
Oh,
it.
he did. Good
He didn't
boy.
want to say it, but I made him say it, and then he was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry." I made him say it, right? And he, so he had to say it under his voice, and only we really heard it.
Yeah.
But the camera didn't really pick it up. But if you pay attention, he was like punk ass, and then he walked off. Yeah.
He's like, hey.
Hey, that's not right. Good
For
kid. You did not good work.
You
but
did.
a good,
Very good
really,
job.
really good
Very
job
good
as well.
job. Yeah.
Didn't know we had 4 stars here. That's our 4th
There we
chain
go.
right there. Darn it. There we go.
There
we
you
have
go.
Well, the fifth one is over there too. She I don't think she's camera ready. But
Oh, hey, mama. Oh, sorry.
Hi, sweetie.
So I don't know, Jamil didn't say, but everything Jamil touches, he put his children in, which I think is like
That's
so
right.
empowering. So, you know, we got like a
His family
DJ
is
Khaled
involved
over
in
here.
everything.
It's a family affair.
Right.
It's a family affair whatever we do. That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Keep on doing that.
Wonderful.
What are some of the next projects that y'all, all 3 of you are working
Yeah.
on right now? Can you say or you cannot say right now? It's under wraps.
I can. I am in the No Name Play 1. That is with John Ray's Productions.
Okay.
It's basically a black-owned business down South Street, and it's a studio space where like people can go in and they can express their art and get critiqued on it. We have classes there. We have ensemble productions. The ensembles, there are probably like 40 to 60 cast members.
Wow.
So I'm in that. I'm also a part of this play is called Nothing But a Star in Heaven, I think, and I'm with the Bushfire Theater on 52nd and Locust. I recently just got a part as a receptionist in his next play.
Oh, look at that.
yeah, we keep her busy.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, number
Yeah.
2. There
Don't
we
forget
go.
about your jewelry.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I am, and I
Yeah,
can't
who's
stall.
this stall?
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
We know a
actually
whole
from
lot
your
about
line. Are those from your line?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
very
Natural
good.
Life. Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
Show them, show them.
I think I have some cards in my bag, some business cards.
Hey.
Hey, there we go.
And just so you know, the business cards, I got them from another black-owned businesswoman to support my black-owned business.
Yes.
Yes.
That's right now.
So,
Congratulations.
thank
There you
you. So yeah, so I sell Afrocentric earrings. It's on. Well, you can get it. Well, you can contact me from like my regular page, and that's Sarai Quinese, and you can contact them from Sable Treasures. That's also in my bio in my regular page, Sarai Quinese. So yeah, they range from $5 to $7. All the proceeds are going towards college. I am a senior in high school right now.
There you go.
And another production that I'm in, well, I'm about to be in, is my last high school musical, and that's In the Heights. I don't really know too much about that, but I mean, I auditioned, and I had to audition. Well, I had callbacks for like 4 different roles, so I learned the music for that.
Okay.
That's right.
Adrian.
Dorian, what's up with
Yes.
you? Congratulations on all
Thank
that.
you.
Keep on moving.
Yes.
Congratulations. Like, you know, I'm so proud of her. Like, everybody's so young and know what she's doing. Like, when I was 17, I wasn't that bold.
Right,
I'm
yeah.
telling you, it took me another 10 plus years.
When you start young, you have more experience, and like you're above your generation.
That's right.
And sometimes like people that's really older than me, that's like 25 or like 30, whatever, they'd be like, oh, well, I am inspired by you. I'm like, inspired by me?
That's right, girl.
I'm 17.
We
What?
inspired, girl, by you. Yeah. Yes, we are.
Okay.
Okay.
25 degrees. Not that long.
You better sound old, did you? So we
Jesus, have
55,
mercy.
60. Dorian, what's going on with you?
So I'm actually that was my first feature film. Like that was my first film. I
Yeah.
did like small short films before. I did some background work for Richard Gere. Richard Pryor. I always say Richard Pryor, but I wish it was Richard Pryor. No,
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my
it was
God.
Richard Gere and Dakota Fanning. I did background work for them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I actually got some background work for Creed too, but the filming schedule didn't work out with the big
Right.
job.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Yeah, next time.
Next
so
time.
I didn't get a chance to do that, which I would love to. They shot here in Philadelphia. But I'm actually going to take some time away from the acting and do the comedy thing. So.
Oh!
Yeah.
And I've told you, like how you have great natural humor and you're quick. I think that'll be great. You know I support that. No, listen. How many times have I commented on your Insta snap? Yeah, and Angel too. Like, we both respond to your snap, but it's just crazy. Like,
it's the weirdest thing is like I'm telling you, when I see like Pop Smash Radio and my views, I be like, who was that?
Who was that? Yeah, so we definitely know this Insta stuff. We have dual control, so it might be me, it might be her. We decided like it's me watching, but we all watch the whole thing.
I'm gonna take some time to do that. I've always been. It's a little intimidating because I've always been able to like feed off other people's energy and say things. There's a quick reaction to things, even like my Insta stories. The things that I comment on are a reaction.
Yeah.
So doing stand-up comedy is about to give me a chance to be alone and create the joke and structure the joke with own like personal like experiences in life, which is gonna be totally different. So again, I'm scared to ask people to watch my craft.
Exactly.
No,
gotta
you have a lot of support.
And
okay.
So we're going on overdrive right now. We want to get you to know what else is going on with you right now.
We have the Justice of Peace. That's a stage play. It's about social and relationship issues. The first half is told from the perspective of a black male. The second half is the same story told from the perspective of a black female.
Okay.
Then we have, that's the one that Sarai's in that she didn't name. We also have Resurrection of a Nation. It's a story about the Nation of Islam here in Philly from 1965 to 85. And this was the time when the Black Mafia came aboard and things like that. So that's in the pre-production phase right now. We have another comedy show coming out in May that I guess you're going to audition for.
I was going to say,
I'm
pointing right at
I think if anybody was asked to be a part of their production, Jamil, comes up, I'm definitely there.
I appreciate that.
Awesome.
So guys, thank you so much. We're going a little overtime here on Air It Out Radio and also on Pop Smash. But you know, if you ever need some news reporters, Angel,
Oh my God.
Absolutely, we can play that.
Let's
very,
give
very
credit.
well.
IMDb
Yes.
credit.
That's yes. Anything like we are right here for that. Okay. Hello. At the same
What about
time.
live host of a comedy show?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Yes, we host
Okay.
gigs all the time. Yes.
Yes, we
Hello.
do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Is that a word?
We got more to talk about.
Our old town,
Yeah,
so.
watch our stuff on YouTube. See all the stuff that we
Yeah.
do, like posting stuff around. So it's really entertaining. It's really crazy. So yeah, so we have this amazing cast of all our work here
Yes.
on Pop Smash. They're super talented. They're amazing.
Now, how can they see the movie now if they didn't go and see it in the
Yes.
theater?
That's a really good
Because-
question.
Yes.
Let's listen to the answer.
We got that.
I'm not sure.
First off,
I'm not sure what we're doing yet. We're talking about taking it to New York.
Okay.
Yes.
And put it out in the Ritz in New York. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're thinking about doing right now.
Oh, okay.
Before we decide to put it on DVD.
Yes.
And we see where we go from there. So we're probably thinking New York and possibly Atlanta. So I have people working on both parts.
Okay.
I would definitely love to fly.
And after that,
Yes.
After that, hopefully someone picks it up. Hopefully
saying.
someone picks it up after that.
Yeah.
But if they don't, then I will be distributing myself. We come off. You go on pleasantlightproductions.com and be able to get whatever material you want.
Support.
But I tell you guys,
Please do.
this film is so great.
Yes, it
Every
is,
single thing
man.
from the casting, the directing, every single thing, the emotion that you get from watching the stories played by these amazing actors, it gives it justice.
It's amazing.
But the one thing we have to stress, sexual abuse is real, and we have to deal with it.
Yeah.
We have to talk about it, and it's super important.
Yeah.
So thank you so much to the cast
Thank
of
you.
all our
Thank
work.
you
We
guys.
Thank you
love
so
you
much,
guys.
guys.
It's good knowing you. Thank you, Dorian, so much for
Yes.
inviting. Again, we were blown
you.
away. We've been telling everybody about this film, and everywhere I go, like, have you
That's
seen
like,
this
how
movie? You
can
got to
you
see
see
this
it
movie.
again?
Yes. Yes, we want to see it again and again and
Because we tell
again.
them about it, like, well, how can we go see it?
Yeah.
Y'all should have went to the
Right,
y'all
that's
should've
why I tell
went.
my friends. Y'all should
Y'all
have
should have
been
went.
Okay.
That's
to
my seven
support.
should have went.
Yeah, that's right.
Should've been
Should've
there.
went.
Okay.
Yes.
What he said.
Yeah.
Well,
So
if they
thank
follow
you
on Pleasant Light
everyone
Productions,
here.
we might be able to. We'll
At
have some
Pleasant Light
information.
Productions.
There you go.
And so follow Pleasant Light Productions, follow Dorian Parker, Follow Esra Kenise,
Yes.
right?
They always forget my L, but
Yeah, Dorian L.
Dorian
Parker.
L. Parker.
Yes.
Even
Dorian
Dorian
L.
L.
Parker.
forgets
I'm
NFL.
sorry.
Yes, I'm gonna make sure I get that right. There we go. I'll get that right every
Okay,
time
you
now.
good.
So thank you so much for joining us on Pop Smash
Thank you,
Live at
guys.
Aaron
Thanks for
Radio,
having us.
AirNRadio.net.
Thank you so much for coming,
Thank you. We
guys.
love you guys. See you next week with another
Bye,
amazing
guys.
show. Bye.
Bye, guys.
See you later.
See you next Tuesday.
Thanks,
Thank
y'all.
y'all.
No, no.
Thank y'all so much for coming. It meant so much. Like I'm telling you, like even I did. Like even like, I was like, listen, I'll take this shit. He had some filming to do or something, but it was even
Keep up the
other
good
people
work,
I
okay?
invited, like they
All
couldn't
right.
come.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank
Keep up the
you.
great work,
I
okay?
appreciate it. Yes, ma'am.
You
Thank
too,
you.
okay? Great job. Great job.
That's the other one that you didn't miss. That's
How
Jada.
you doing? How you doing? Give me a
We
hug,
start
girl.
this
How you
in
doing?
2015. We're about to turn